Hello and welcome to Starting Small. Today I'm joined by Josiah Citrin of Mélisse and so many more restaurants out here. Josiah, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure to be here and get to know you.
Of course. Well, I'd like to start out with your upbringing. Where did you grow up and what would you say your childhood was like?
Okay, so I grew up here in Santa Monica, Venice. We moved. I was born in 1968 in Los Angeles, around the Silver Lake area, Los Feliz Silver Lake area. My parents moved to Santa Monica in 1970, so I lived in 3rd and Ocean Park. So it's kind of hippie community. Not, obviously it was a definitely a more ghetto. It was a white ghetto, maybe, right?
Yeah.
A beach ghetto. Right? Who's going to complain about that, right? So we moved to the beach, hippies. So I grew up there. My father's French, my mother's American. So I grew up with my grandparents are French, and they moved here. So we lived in Santa Monica. I grew up surfing, biking, skating, all the things you do.
Yeah.
In the beach community at that time, I thought it was a great place to grow up because we had it was all good people. We all watched each other's back. A lot of kids, neighborhoods. It's different nowadays. We grew up in Santa Monica, I think, in a very diverse atmosphere. Latino, black, white. We didn't care really. Friends had brothers that were, now would be known as autistic. Back there, they were just, we retarded, which you can't use anymore. But I'm just saying that no one cared. We took care of each other.
For sure.
We just grew up in a community where you were part of the community. We might tease people here and there, but I felt like everybody was pretty much to feel the love, and it was a good community. I think Santa Monica at the time, and a lot of us didn't make it though and got hooked on drugs. It was definitely also dangerous, but I think in the end of the day, it was a good childhood.
Of course. I'd love to hear like some of your hobbies, and I know your family has strong background in that culture of like food, and how does that tie into like your future and what you're doing here today as well?
So I think my hobbies, I grew up surfing all the time. It's all about surfing, skating, like music always, rock and roll music. So it started with my mom was a caterer, so I grew up around food.
Yeah.
But then also surfing. So you go surfing and you surf all day and you get out of the water and you want to eat. So it's like, so you go eat, you start going to restaurants young, I think. On your own at a younger age. Whether it's a coffee shop on Lincoln, Thomas's coffee shop, but I started liking to eat it out. And I enjoyed eating, and then from that restaurant, it goes to different restaurants and different passions. Then watching my mom cook at home and learning, helping out. But I only helped not because I wanted to cook. I wanted to make money to go surfing.
Yeah.
Right? Or then on the weekends when I go see my grandma and she'd make some old French. She made 6 or 7 classic French dishes. She wasn't like a great cook, but she knew how to cook like 6 or 7 dishes. She made a great vinaigrette, good steaks and some sauces and creamed spinach. So I learned from her, besides her leg of lamb and flageolet beans. Just watched her cook. But I wasn't like so crazy about it then, but I loved to go out to eat. And then it's kind of like, you're getting ready to do the SATs. You're trying to figure out what you want to do. You're going to, it's the 80s, you're graduating. And at that point, Wolfgang Puck was kind of becoming a little bit, famous here in LA. And I have no idea why I did. I thought, I'm just going to be a chef.
Yeah.
So I decided in 12th grade at Samo High, I'm going to be a chef.
Wow.
I said, okay. And I went around and I kind of talked to the different restaurants here. The chef who was at Chinois in Maine. There was a place called 72 Market Street. And it was, right now it's called Market Venice or Market, I think. Market. Yeah. It's on Market Street. And then the West Beach Cafe. I talked to different chefs. Should I go to cooking school? What should I do? My neighbor was a chef. So I said, okay, I'm just going to get out of high school. I'm going to get a job and learn how to work. So I got a job. First job I was working was at the West Beach Cafe.
Okay.
Which became James Beach, and now it's closed.
Yeah.
But that was the 1980s, and there was a lot of drugs. There was a lot of stuff going on. Cocaine was everywhere. So I'd work here, and it was like, shoes. And I wasn't no innocent kid or anything. So, partying, hanging out. And, I really want to become a great chef. So the restaurant business here looks like it's the same in every restaurant. I'm going to move to France.
Yeah.
And at that time, my father was actually living in France, selling Vans, Converse, and Levi's on the gray market or the black market, right? Importing him and selling him. I don't know what he was doing, but some stuff that wasn't completely above board. So I moved to France, and my family there had a friend who was a chef, who took me in and let me get a job there.
Wow.
So I went there, I thought I'm going to go for 1 year and I'm going to come back.
Is that at a restaurant?
At a restaurant.
Oh, very cool.
But in the 16th, classic French with it. So I moved there in 1987.
Yeah.
Middle of winter time. And, you're 18 years old, so 1 year seems like a long time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 1 year. I ended up staying for 3 years in Paris. Had a great time living there. Worked at some really good restaurants. Learned a lot. Just kind of built my passion for cooking. And like I said, I don't know, but I just decided to be a chef. And I guess I liked it. Everything worked well. The vibe, the work, what it took out of you, the hours.
Yeah.
The whole hospitality, taking care of people, the whole thing about creating something, an experience for people. I enjoyed that.
For sure.
Even though at the beginning you're not really sure what you're doing because you're getting yelled at more than you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So then after a few years, I moved back to LA, started working at Chinois, Maine.
Okay.
Which I had eaten there before I left, so I wanted to go back and work there.
Yeah.
So I went back to work there for a while, a couple of years, and I went to another restaurant called Patina for a few years. And at that point, we were working, and me and my best friend, Rafael Lunetta, who also grew up surfing, and his mother was French, and his dad was American, Italian, so we kind of had that in common.
Yeah.
So we grew up together, and then at first he was going to be in the front of house, and I was going to be the chef and all the stuff. But somewhere along the way, he got into the kitchen also, so he started working as a chef also. So after a while, we decided, let's try and go on our own. And there was this restaurant on Abercrombie at the time called Capri.
Okay.
It was there. It was owned by a lady, so we went there. We liked the location. Let's go ask her for a job here. So we went and sold ourselves to be the chefs there. Talked to her, let's do a tasting, can you hire us? We did a tasting, she liked it. We're going to work for $250 each a week.
Okay.
Not much at the time.
Yeah.
We'll do this just to make a name for ourselves. And at that time, Abercrombie was just becoming Abercrombie. It wasn't anything like it is today.
Yeah.
We're talking about 1992 now, 94 or 93.
Yeah.
So it was still, the ghost town. It was still Venice. Hadn't hit that transition point yet.
Yeah.
And now there's an Italian restaurant there, Osteria. It was Salt for a while, or Salt Air, and then it became, I think there's a couple Italian restaurants the same name.
Yeah, there's a couple other. Yeah.
That's the space there. So we went in there. We did well. From there, a guy named Alan Jackson, who was opening a restaurant in Beverly Hills, came in, liked it. So then we got hired as a chef there.
Very cool.
In 1994, we left there. We cooked there, and that's when we first started getting some press. And obviously, I worked at Chinois. I worked at Patina with Joaquin Flechal. And you kind of start to build your name.
Yeah.
And so we got some press at this place called Jackson's. Young guns coming up, the whole thing. At the time, we were really young, but the food was good. We knew what we were doing. And we were there for a couple of years, but, it never really worked. So it was three young people together, all with egos. So Rafael and myself left after a few years, and that's when we went on our own to open our first restaurant called Giraffe.
Wow. Where was that at?
Was on 5th in Santa Monica.
Very cool.
So in 1996, April of 96, we opened Giraffe together. And it was bistronomy, we want to call it. So it's kind of like we're making high-end food for a reasonable price, very casual atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just trying to hit the LA market.
Yeah.
Not too French, but enough French that we felt of our heritage, but still California, fresh product.
Yeah.
We opened it for basically $250,000, $125,000, $130 each, $260,000. Open it up. So I worked there for 3 years, and at that time we started getting more notoriety, some good reviews. We won Best New Chef in Food and Wine magazine, which is like a national magazine. Wow. We got a review in Gourmet, which is a national magazine.
Yeah.
So at that time our names were getting more recognized, and we getting the Best New Restaurant in LA, all these awards. So it was really going well.
Yeah.
But it was still casual. My dream was always to do fine dining.
Yeah.
So in 1999, I left to open Mélisse.
Wow. And to the listeners out there, this is the location we're in right now in Mélisse. And as we walked in, you said you did a lot of renovations throughout the years as well. So, what did that first Mélisse look like?
So the first Mélisse was the whole building we're in right now. It was more of an older French-style restaurant. We had the cheese cart. Definitely was a little bit old looking at first. It was I borrowed a lot of the paintings from my grandma, and obviously we opened. It was at that point was a lot of money to me, but really wasn't a lot of money to open a restaurant. $1 million.
Yeah.
And then so we opened that restaurant and we started cooking, and it was a little higher end. And we had the cheese cart, tableside service, tasting menu. It was much more expensive than Giraffe was at the time.
Yeah.
So we kind of started doing that, and then we pushed that through. And then as I noticed, I started to make little changes and tweaks to it.
Yeah.
But we kept going, and the food was good. Then we started winning awards. Like we won the #1 food in Zagat.
Wow.
At a certain time, off and on. We were in the top 3 restaurants back and forth between #1 and out of it from like 2006 to 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14 when Zagat was bought by Google, and then everything started changing. It didn't kind of come out as much, but things always change. As a guidebook is something, and the internet, things change and everything evolves.
For sure.
But for us, the biggest award we had here was in 2008 when the Michelin Guide first came to Los Angeles, and we were awarded 2 stars when the guide first came out.
Wow. And
we were one of only 3 restaurants in LA to get 2 stars.
It's incredible.
And no one got 3 stars as of today yet.
Yeah.
So they were here for a few years. At the same time, we won the Mobile or the Forbes 5-star award. We were the only restaurant in Los Angeles at the time to have 5 stars from 2012, I believe, to when we closed the first time in 2020.
Yeah.
2019 guide. So we just kept pushing. I kept pushing and doing the restaurant. I did consulting.
Yeah.
Around. I do different things at a hotel, at a restaurant in Main Street. But then in 2015, I opened my second restaurant, Charcoal Venice. And that was just wanted to be a casual place. We go to have great food. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I haven't yet. I've only been actually in LA for about 8 months,
okay.
9 months now.
Okay,
yeah.
So this place is just like a backyard barbecue, chicken wings, steaks, everything cooked over charcoal, lots of vegetables, fish, great cocktails, always rock and roll music, that I grew up with, punk rock, all different sounds.
Yeah.
Just a fun place. I like to.
Sounds very good.
Very fun. So open that, and then this restaurant we're coming up on the lease end, right?
Yeah.
20 years, renegotiating to extend it. What's it going to look like? I decided, well, I'm going to raise money and I'm going to gut it all and change the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
So on March 2nd, we closed the restaurant to do the new what it was going to be next.
Yeah.
But in 2009, the Michelin Guide stopped coming to LA. And so we had our 2 stars because technically we never lost them.
Yeah.
But they weren't rating every year, so obviously you want 3 stars. So for 10 years, you really couldn't push for 3 stars, even though we were food-wise, but we really couldn't push for 3 stars because there was no guide to give it to you.
Yeah.
So then on March 5th, the Michelin Guide announced they were doing a California guide, and they would be including LA in that guide. So the guide came. So it's like I had done all this. Now I'm closing the restaurant. I know they won't put me in that guide that's going to come out.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be closed and we're changing. So it's like, did I just mess up? Like I could have got rated and kept going and not done this whole remodel, kept the restaurant the same. But didn't work that way. So we closed the restaurant, and I decided to come up with 2 different restaurants: Citrin.
Yep.
And then this small restaurant, which is Mélisse. So Citrin was going to be not more of a casual restaurant. We put the big bar in when you walk through the door.
Yeah.
More casual vibe. You can order a la carte. You can have tasting menu. You can have a green salad and a roasted chicken, or you could have caviar and foie gras. Not foie gras. Excuse me. You can have caviar and truffles.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to serve foie gras, so.
Oh.
But anyway, I don't serve it, but I just said that because it's luxurious. Anyway, so that was the whole idea to have there. It's just great place, great vibe, fun place to go, hang out. And then Mélisse is this room here, which is the 5-table room where you can see that you watch the kitchen and the chefs cook.
Wow.
So they serve you. It's a very intimate restaurant.
It's very cool.
We play all vinyl music. All albums from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Could be Jay-Z, could be David Bowie, could be Neil Young, could be Michael Jackson. Every night's a different lineup. Jill Scott, Al Green, Marvin Gaye,
Wow.
Sade, just all different
Love it.
genres, all different types, but always a whole album.
Yeah. Incredible.
The way it was meant to be listened to, right?
Yeah.
On a tube amp. Because my thing is, this is fine dining. But what is fine dining? It's all the finest things,
Yeah.
finest sound,
The old experience.
the finest table you've touched, the leather on the, everything is supposed to be fine.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean it's a white tablecloth or it's this kind of stuffy experience, but it's about everything you have is a fine
For sure.
experience. It's about creating a once in a lifetime experience.
For sure. I'm curious, like, as these guides come out, press comes out, word comes out, you're pulling in like high class individuals. We're in LA. I know some people who have visited here. What is that experience like, and how important is that to bring in high profile people for the longevity?
I think it matters, but I never tried to focus only on that. To me, anybody who walks that door is important to me.
Exactly.
Maybe it's my upbringing where I grew up in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
You're coming through the door, I want to make it special.
Yeah.
I want to make this a great experience for you. Obviously, having the higher class individuals, I don't want to say class, but higher net worth individuals, however it is, sure, it helps your business.
Yeah.
Because I'm selling a high-end product, and obviously I need people that have enough money they can expend that kind of money on food, and that they also think the value they're getting is worth it, right? Because it's about the value, right? If I give something, it could cost $500, and if there's no value there, it's too expensive. If the experience gives value to somebody, then it's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? It's all relative. But I do want to, I don't really go, obviously, I don't go out of my way to treat celebrities or anybody else different than I do someone else. I mean,
for sure.
Personally, like, of course, you have to, if there's a little difference, they might need to sit in this table in this corner because they don't want to be seen or little things like that. But in the end of the day, I don't want to treat them any different.
Totally.
I don't want to like, oh, they're going to get better food than them.
Yeah.
When it comes to what we do the same thing for everybody.
I love that. So if a listener was to like visit Mélisse, for example, like what is that experience like from sit down to getting served? What is that?
So first off, when you visit here, you pretty much buy the ticket before you come.
Yeah.
So you pay in advance.
Got it.
So you're not getting out of that reservation.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you go to a concert, like if the Rolling Stones are playing, you don't like, hey, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. Mick Jagger, can you hold on?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So the show starts at 5:30.
Got it.
Or 8:30. So you walk through this door, and there's the whole, you come in, you get these emails, you get a call for the night, because you come in, it's kind of through a separate entrance off Wilshire, you ring a doorbell, it's like a little spray painting area.
Yeah.
Like graffiti, kind of cool, little bit of what do you call those things? No, I'm losing my mind. Wow, what is that word for like the little clubs? Like when it's like why am I like I used to be in this in the
trying to think
in the 30s in the Prohibition. What do you call those? I can't believe I'm losing my mind.
I'm trying to think too.
Speakeasy.
Got it.
It's kind of like a little speakeasy. So you come in, you ring the doorbell, we come and greet you at the door. We bring you in here. You sit down at one of these 5 tables. Right away, you sit down. We have a welcome cocktail. It's a very creative cocktail. Changes with the seasons. Delicious, refreshing, and then basically once everybody's here, after about 10 minutes, you start the meal off with beautiful snacks, and the music's playing, and you kind of go through the whole symphony of the menu.
Yeah.
And there's some interactive stuff that happens. We're presenting the duck press, where we crush the bones and make a sauce.
Wow.
At the same time, the chefs are bringing the food. You're watching them cook, and you're here in this beautiful room, and that's just kind of the experience. Symphony of flavors, foods, textures, different techniques, different areas food comes from.
Yeah. It's incredible.
That's the whole thing. You get the wine pairing. It's the same thing with the wine pairing, the wine that goes with it, where they have you taste it without the food, taste it with the food, taste it with the food like this. Just a whole experience.
Yeah.
When you're looking for that. Yeah.
Incredible. I would love to hear kind of like from your point of view, what makes a good dish? I know this is wide on all like products, but what makes a dish good?
Well,
What would you say?
First is the quality of the ingredients.
Yeah.
Right? Has to be great ingredients.
Yeah.
Has to be the best you can find, the freshest. And I like to look for people where I get my ingredients from to be the same passion I have for it. So I try to, have relationships with producers that have the same passion I do, that are always searching for excellence.
Yeah.
That are always doing the best that they can be, which is our philosophy in pursuit of excellence.
Mm.
So that's where it starts. Then second, I have to do as little as I can to mess up that beautiful ingredient.
Yeah.
Okay. But then over the years, you learn highlighting and how to use different ingredients to create symphony of flavors. So I think it's just about honoring all the ingredients, that you taste that ingredient with a highlight of something else, but never masking the flavor.
Yeah.
I think everything is cooked. When you cook something, there's a perfect time to eat it at. When you've cooked it, like when it's in its perfect temperature, the juices are flowing, the tenderness. There's that one point, and I think sometimes you eat something, I'm sure you experience it tastes better than other times.
Yeah, for sure.
But it could be the same thing, the same sauce, but you just had it at the right time. That's my philosophy. It's like there's a perfect time to take that bite.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And it's wow. And sometimes you can be so blown away by something.
Yeah.
Or there's cabbage sometimes, there's carrots, and you eat them, they're, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Next time you eat it, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So I think it's also the product.
For sure.
So I guess it's an open-ended question.
It is,
It's perfect when it's all comes together.
Yeah.
At that moment when you have a bite.
Yeah.
But it's the company. Some days you have more taste than others. Some days you taste something, things just don't taste that good.
Yeah.
I mean, but we do everything we can to cook everything perfectly.
Yeah.
From technique-wise, recipe-wise, training-wise.
Yeah.
So that whenever you have it, you love it.
Yeah.
And it's at its perfect time.
For sure. So, talking on like the taste, also there's the aspect of like the harmony of taste to presentation. From fine diners, what does presentation mean to you?
I mean, presentation to me is creating something beautiful.
Yeah.
When you look at it, it is beautiful. But I don't want to ever forget the look is more important than the taste.
Yeah.
Because the taste is always more important.
For sure.
Than the look. So that's also that fine line. It has to look beautiful. You have to make it look beautiful, but it has to be hot still. It can't be cold.
Yeah.
All these things. But I think first you eat with your eyes. Right? And the description from the captain, the waiter, the chef, when they explain it to you, right?
Yeah.
It's that part too, because you have to explain all the little details that went into it. So you're already in your mind before you're eating it thinking, oh, the chef, he cured it, then he aged it for a week, then he slow cooked it, to have that perfect texture and flavor of the fish, where it's silky with that beautiful salinity and sweetness from the ocean.
Yeah.
Right? There's that perfect point. But we have to sell that also, so the guest knows that they're supposed to eat and they're going to taste.
For sure.
At the same time. So it's the view, the explanation, and then you have to deliver on the taste. Because if you sell that whole thing, you taste it, it tastes a little bit mushy and, a little old, little ammoniated, you're going to be, that's not that good. So you have to hit that part too. But I think it's the whole thing. It's the vision, the beauty of it, the description coming at you, and then the flavor and the taste of it.
Interesting. I'd love to cover some of like the marketing side of the restaurant business. What do you see as like the harmony of like word of mouth, Michelin guides, or like reviews? What is the marketing that draws people here?
Forever it was LA Times review, it was a Gourmet magazine coming out. But everything's changed. The internet, everything's different. So for a guy like me, I'm kind of in the old school style. So trying to figure out, I don't hate Instagram, but I don't like to Instagram. I'm not good at selling myself. Like I came from the time when other people sold you. Yeah. Right? So they have the reviews really don't do anything anymore. The Michelin Guide, yes, it does something for a certain clientele and certain people. Yeah. I still think the best reviews are word of mouth. For sure. Right? People come here, they like it, they tell people. You hear about it, that's how you hear about it. You see it here and there, you see the press, but I think the best thing is the word of mouth. Yeah. We all say we don't like Yelp, we don't like Google, but in the end of the day, I think if you're doing a really good job, you're making good food, well, then your reviews should be pretty good on Google and Yelp. Yeah. It's just quicker word of mouth. Definitely. But, we got canceled, I don't know what you want to call it, at Charcoal with some guy pull a skint with an orange. Yeah. And the thing that we charge him $12 for an orange when he asked us to charge him $12 for the orange, and it's his most famous reel he did, and then it went big, and then I get reviews, 1-star reviews. I went from a 4.6 Google rating to 3.9, and we're fighting it every day, taking down the reviews because these people never eat in the restaurant. Wow. So it also can go against you. Definitely. Yeah. Which is a nice. But for a restaurant like Mélisse and Citrin, this has 2 Michelin stars. Citrin next door has a 1 Michelin star.
Mm-hmm.
We're higher end. We're feeding people looking for a certain experience. The Michelin Guide does wonders for us.
Yeah.
Worldwide clientele.
Yeah.
Charcoal, I don't want a Michelin star there.
Yeah.
I just want people to love the food there, come there. I want to get great accolades because I don't want to worry about losing something, right?
For sure.
Because if I lose it there, then what are people going to say? The restaurant's no good. They lost a star.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not have one. So I don't gotta. Because then I think it changes the whole vibe of the restaurant, of how the servers are, how the chefs are. We're not so worried about losing it.
Yeah.
We're just worried about making great food right now and making a great time and in a nice atmosphere.
Yeah. Incredible. I would love to kind of hear this region on how important it is. You grew up in Santa Monica area, keeping all of your restaurants like in this region. Why is that?
It just kind of happened that way. I like the West Side.
Yeah.
I have 6 down here right now between Dear Jane's, which just opened in the marina with my partners Hans and Patty Rockenwagner.
Yep.
And then we have Dear John's in Culver City, which is, we'll see how long it lasts because it's on a timetable.
Yeah.
To Charcoal, to Augie's on Main.
Yep.
My fast casual restaurant.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky to keep them all here because it keeps me not going crazy, but I'm actually opening one on Sunset, another Charcoal.
Wow. When is that?
In West Hollywood in the next few months.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that, but I'm also like, I drive there something like, oh, geez, what did I get myself into?
Yeah.
But it's a whole new world out there.
Yeah.
New clientele. I think people don't even know what Charcoal is, and I think we're way over here in Venice.
Yeah.
Off Washington. So I'm excited about going out of the region.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been a West Side guy.
For sure. Incredible. So I like to conclude each episode with all of those learnings, the growth and expansion. If you can share a piece of advice with maybe an aspiring entrepreneur, business owner, what would you say? Something you've learned?
I mean, look, I just think that you have to go for your dreams.
Yeah.
And never be afraid to fail. Because, what's that old saying? Like, it's like, what is the only failing is fear of failing itself, right? Yeah. I just think you got to go for it. I think you got to surround yourself with good people. I think you really got to learn to inspire people into your vision. Yeah. So when you're an entrepreneur, like you have to create your vision, and then you have to inspire those who are going to support you in getting to your vision. You have to, inspire them to buy into your dream. Yeah. Right? You need to sell your dream to them so they can help you do it. They got to buy your Kool-Aid. Yeah. Basically, they got to be with you to get where you want to go. It takes good people with you because you can't do it on your own. Yeah. So that's important. But I definitely think you got to go for what you want. Don't ever not do it because the regret is worse, and then you become a bitter old fart. And then, Yeah, no, I think it's important to create what you want to do and go for it. True. I mean, I feel lucky in lots of ways. I would be so successful. Yeah. And it just happens, I was 30 years old opening my first restaurant. Now I'm 55 years old, and it's like, where did the time go? I don't feel any different. Yeah. Just a little more tired, but Wow, amazing. It's such an amazing journey. It just goes, yeah, thank you so much for letting me visit this beautiful facility, Josiah. And to the listeners out there, make sure if you make it on the West Coast, make sure to check out any of these restaurants. Mélisse, we have Citrin right next door. And of course, in a few months, we're going to be expanding to another restaurant. Super exciting. Charcoal Sunset. Awesome. Again, Josiah, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much. Awesome.